Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to yet another monthly Every Movie I Watched in Blank June edition. Started off the month with Tropic Thunder, and I'm not gonna lie, as far as comedies go, this was relatively funny. I didn't like how much almost fourth wall breaking there was, and there was a lot of satirical humor, and don't get me wrong, I love some satirical humor, but this movie, it felt off. It felt kind of strange. I would like to clarify, I didn't hate it, but I don't ever think I would want to watch it again. I would give it a TCAS rating, and for those of you who are new, the TCAS rating stands for Technique, Cinematography, Audio, and Story. That's basically the quote-unquote cinema scale of the movie. I would give that a 6 out of 10. I would give my entertainment enjoyment rating, which is literally just how much did like film, I would give that a 5 out of 10, and I'd give this movie an overall rating of 5 out of 10. And then next up, I watched Whiplash. Some real tonal whiplash from the last movie. The end of this movie is fantastic. The last 30 minutes of this movie, I literally couldn't stop watching. It was like 11 o'clock at night, and I should have been going to bed because I had to do something the next morning when I watched this, But dadgummit, I enjoyed it a lot, and I thought that it was really, really great. I'd give it a TCAS rating of 10 out of 10, because it is just, cinematically speaking, as close to perfect as you can possibly get. I give it an entertainment enjoyment rating of 8 out of 10, and I give it a final rating of 9 out of 10. Then I watched Ballerina on a really, really big screen, on a bigger screen, not quite IMAX size, but a very, very large screen. And I greatly enjoyed this. I made a full-length review. You can check that out on the top right hand of the screen right now. But I give it a TCAS rating of 8 out of 10, an entertainment enjoyment rating of 10 out of 10, just because I honestly had an absolute blast watching this, and I give it a final rating of 9 out of 10. Then I watched The Nice Guys, and to be perfectly honest, this is a dumb and fun time. I didn't think it was amazing, but I also enjoyed it and would most likely recommend it. I gave it a TCAS rating of 7 out of 10, an entertainment enjoyment rating also of 7 out of 10, and bet you can't guess what the final rating is, 1 out of 10. No, I'm just kidding. I gave it a 7 out of 10 overall rating. Next up, I watched No Country for Old Men, and I would like to clarify that just because I give something a low star rating, it doesn't mean that I don't recognize that it is a cinematically very, very impressive film. With that being said, I would give this a TCAS of 8 out of 10. I would give this an entertainment enjoyment rating of 4 out of 10, because I'm just going to be blunt with you. I didn't really enjoy this movie that much, and I give it a final rating of 6 out of 10. Comments section, please. I would like to apologize. Next up, I watched Top Gun Maverick. This movie's just cool. It's the first time I logged it on Letterboxd, but it's like my 4th time actually seeing it. It's just really stinking good. I'd give it a TCAS rating of 8 out of 10. I'd give it an entertainment enjoyment rating of 9 out of 10, and I'd give it a final rating of 8.5 out of 10. Then I watched How to Train Your Dragon, and while I was initially a little conflicted on this movie, I eventually came around to it, and I really ended up liking it. I'd give it a TCAS rating of 9 out of 10, an entertainment enjoyment rating also of 9 out of 10, giving it a final rating of 9 out of 10. Now, the whole should we be remaking movies that are only 15 years old debate is a debate for another day. I did not factor that into this score. I factored my general enjoyment of the movie into this score here. Then I also watched Materialists in theaters very shortly after How to Train Your Dragon. It was weird whiplash. I enjoyed this movie pretty well. I think it had some good things to say. It was not quite as profound as some people are giving it credit for. I also, to be perfectly honest, don't think it was quite as dull as a lot of people are saying online. A couple people I follow really just didn't like this movie very much at all. I give it a TCAS rating of 8.5 out of 10. I'd give it an entertainment enjoyment rating of 7.5 out of 10, giving it a final rating of 8 out of 10. Then I watched 28 Days Later, and this is the reason I don't want to visit the UK. I'd give it a TCAS rating of 8 out of 10, an entertainment enjoyment rating of 6 out of 10, giving it a final rating of 7 out of 10. Then I watched 28 Years Later, and I enjoyed this substantially more than 28 Days Later. I'm just going to be perfectly honest, okay? I think cinematically speaking, it is a lot more impressive, and from an enjoyment standpoint, I also enjoyed it a lot more. The story drew me in a whole lot more. I thought that this was quite good, and to be perfectly honest, I was mortified with the start of the movie. Like, the start of the movie was horrifying. I mean, those Teletubbies... oh my gosh. I give it a TCAS rating of 9 out of 10. I'd give it an entertainment enjoyment rating of 8 out of 10, giving it a final rating of 8.5 out of 10. Then I watched Zoolander. Really getting some obscure 2000s comedies in this month. This was weird. I'd probably rewatch it, to be perfectly honest, but it was weird. I give it a TCAS rating of 4 out of 10, an entertainment rating of 7 out of 10, and a final rating of 6 out of 10. We don't need to spend any more time on this. This was such a wild movie. Then I watched Fried Green Tomatoes, because my mom wanted me to watch Fried Green Tomatoes. I would have never seen this if she hadn't recommended it and wanted to watch it. And I thought it was good. I don't think it was incredibly impressive. I like some of the things that were done in it. I like the storytelling approach. Gets a little dicey at one point. Definitely didn't age particularly well in some points, but I overall still thought it was a good time. I'd give it a TCAS rating of 8 out of 10, an entertainment enjoyment rating of 7 out of 10, and a final rating of 7 out of 10. Then I rewatched Captain America Brave New World, and I can confirm I don't ever think I need to rewatch this again. My assumption was correct, that in theaters, this was a lot higher of an enjoyment scale than this. Is bad. On a rewatch, it's not very good, which feels a little mean. It feels a little mean crapping on it, but I didn't enjoy it much at all on a rewatch. I'd give it a TCAS rating of 3 out of 10. It's a lot. There's so many holes. The plot is Swiss cheese. I'd give it an entertainment rating of 5 out of 10, and I'd give it a final rating of 4 out of 10. For those of you saying Marvel is back, I direct you to this movie. Then I watched Split, and I'm going to be perfectly honest. This is the first M. Night Shyamalan movie that I didn't quite enjoy. Like, even some of his worse films have qualities that I enjoy. But this one I didn't like. It felt off at multiple points. And I get that it's supposed to be a little confusing at points, but it felt... It just felt off for an M. Night Shyamalan movie. It didn't necessarily feel quite as on brand as some of his other, even scarier movies. Like, I would consider this more of a horror movie than I would a thriller. It's still very thrilling, and it has thriller aspects. I would consider it more of a horror movie than a thriller. It's a lot of people are compared like the scariness to The Visit. And I don't think that's comparable. I don't think this is supposed to necessarily be extremely scary. This is supposed to be more of a thriller, whereas you know, the Visit is supposed to be a bit more of a straight up horror movie. I didn't love this though. As far as Shyamalan goes, it really wasn't for me, the style. I give it a TCAS rating of 7 out of 10, an entertainment rating of 5 out of 10, giving this a final rating of 6 out of 10. Which I think is the lowest I've ever given an M. Night Shyamalan movie, I'm going to be perfectly honest. Then I watched F1, the movie, and I had a good time watching this. This was not only cinematically very, very impressive, but it was also a very, very entertaining time in the theaters. Go see this in theaters if you are able to. I'd give it a TCAS rating of 9 out of 10. I'd give it an entertainment enjoyment rating of 8 out of 10, and I give it a final rating of 8.5 out of 10. Then I watched Napoleon Dynamite for the first time ever, and I don't think I've ever been quite as confused by a film as I am Napoleon Dynamite, because, and I'm gonna self-report here for a minute, I'm watching it again already. Like, I started it again earlier today, and it's just such absurdist humor that it kind of landed. Some of the things really, really landed for me. Some of the scenes also made me want to tear my hair out with how long they went on or frankly, how cut off they felt at times. But I'm definitely going to rewatch this, and I'm probably going to give you my updated thoughts on this movie in July. I think it needs 2 watchings to fully process. I'd give it a TCAS rating of 4 out of 10. I'd give it an entertainment rating of 7.5 out of 10, and a final rating of 6 out of 10. But I have a feeling that's going to go up a bit higher on a rewatch. Then I watched Mad Max, the 1979 movie, and Fury Road was better. This wasn't very good. And I get that there are technology limitations in the late 70s compared to nowadays. I get that script writing wasn't necessarily quite as good in the 70s as it is nowadays. I just didn't like this. And that's just my own personal opinion. I give it a TCAS rating of 6 out of 10. You got to consider the time period. It's a very old movie. It's not going to sound good. The transitions are going to be rough, and the editing is going to be bad. That's how movies were back then. But for that time, I'd definitely give it a 6 out of 10. Entertainment enjoyment rating, I would give it a 4 out of 10. I just really didn't enjoy this. It felt very, very, very slow at 90 minutes, so make of that what you will, and I give it a final rating of 5 out of 10. And then finally, just earlier today, I went to rewatch the F1 movie, and I'm going to be perfectly honest, my rating stayed the same. It's still very entertaining, and it's still cinematically very, very impressive. I caught some new things. I caught some really, really nice new details in this rewatching. I enjoyed it greatly. I would highly recommend it if you are at all interested in racing. And frankly, even if, I'm not a super into racing person, I still found this story and film and feel of the film really, really impressive and a really, really fun theatrical time. It's a summer blockbuster. Go give it a try. Anyways, thank you all so much for watching this video of what all I watched this month. If you want to watch another one, you can click on that right over here, and YouTube thinks you're going to like this video right over here. Thank you all so much for watching, and I'll see you later. Phil, what do you want? It's okay, bud. We're done the video now. We can talk.